here, 2v2, Ruins of Argus. Blue team is raaar as a plague champion, defensive support hero. Can build turrets, can heal, pretty decent in combat too, though he is slow. Alongside him is Spirit, who must be in a building somewhere. There he is, as the walks by the Exarch. Teleporting hero, fights ranged mostly, very annoying, harasses early game and later on can get some nasty war gear. He is shooting at the Hive Tyrant of Soom on the red team. Big, mean monster, basically. Can bash through cover, as you can see, cannot be suppressed and cannot be knocked back by most stuff. Alongside Soom is xHoLyHammerx as the Lictor Alpha, can infiltrate and is good at sniping off units with his flesh hooks, as you can see there. Engaging the plague champion and melee down to under half health, needs to be careful taking damage from Chaos Space Marines, Hormagaunts chasing them. xHoLyHammerx has gone for double Termagants, light ranged infantry. Soom has the 2 Hormagaunts, no third unit yet. xHoLyHammerx has spore mines on the field, pretty much a squad of floating grenades that also suppress. Hormagaunts taking tons of damage, very late to retreat there. Bugged out of it and he loses it. Soom loses a Hormagaunt squad in melee to Guardians of all squads. These are triple Guardians of Spirit, light ranged infantry. Pretty high damage but very vulnerable to pretty much everything, such as these spore mines. raaar goes for Chaos Space Marines, heavy ranged infantry that are very decent in melee. Bit too low to be engaging Hormagaunts, but they have Plague Champion backing them up and Heretics worshipping, Nurgle worship of course, boosting the health regen of surrounding infantry. And he also has another Heretic squad. Soom went down here. It's xHoLyHammerx, sorry, went down. Soom now has a Warrior Brood on the field, start off as a melee unit. Heavy infantry can get the Barb Strangler for a AoE suppression weapon. Doesn't look like he's getting it right now, though he doesn't have the resources to. Now he does. Hormagaunts taking the bottom VP, 3 VPs as always, running northeast to southwest, that's top to bottom, none of them natural. Top is being decapped by Heretics for the blue team. Middle is being taken by the Warp Spider and bottom is left uncapped. Hormagaunts now working on this natural power. Here comes a Shuriken Cannon for Spirit. It's going to be pretty tough for Soom to deal with this bottom side right now. We do have the Barb Stranglers on the warrior. Barb Stranglers, sorry, they only get 1 of them for the squad. We'll be able to fire over that wall. Yes, does get caught in suppression though. xHoLyHammerx is still down. Has some warriors of his own again with Barb Strangler. Double Termagants and more spawn mines on the way. We have a Havoc squad on the field for raaar. Spirit going for double Shurikens, very popular with Eldar. Termagants all suppressed. Soom comes top with his Hive Tyrant, who has his Warp Field to revive xHoLyHammerx. xHoLyHammerx then gets the hell out of there. And Soom's Hive Tyrant goes down. Synaptic shock damaging the Termagants, and we have full retreat from xHoLyHammerx's stuff. Big push at the top here from the blue team. They can bash this natural power of red and perhaps cap that wreck point. Warp Spider Exarch being very annoying, forcing off these Hormagaunts. You can now decap this VP. Bottom is red, center is blue, top will be blue most likely. Spore mines get in amongst those Guardians and Chaos Space Marines, but can only detonate once before they are shot down. xHoLyHammerx coming to try and defend this power. Flesh hooks a Heretic. Aspiring Champion, sorry, of the Heretics, which is their squad leader. 2 Doom Blasts go off. So that's one heretic squad. Both heretic squads have, well, had their aspiring champions. xHoLyHammer again retreats. xHoLyHammer going tier 2 very quickly. Blue team pushing top with pretty much everything, so the rest of the map is red. Red team have a full gen farm here. Blue's gen farm's going to get eaten by Hormagaunts in a minute. They do have a full one here though. This gen farm looks like it's going to go down. Hormagaunts lucky to get away with 2 members. Soom has double warriors in tier 1, not something you see very often. Both Barb Strangler warriors. Warp Spider Exarch trying to force melee on these Barb Stranglers so they can't fire, but there's too many of them. So he teleports away, trying to lead them into the Shuriken Cannon. Just out of range. Heretics trying to move in, but they are suppressed and forced off. Triple Guardians still around. Only one of them has the battle equipment. xHoLyHammer will be hitting tier 2 very quickly. raaar also going tier 2. Hive Tyrant is back up. Losing health very quickly though, needs to run away, and I think it is in retreat. Crippling Poison on the Warp Spider. He's forced to retreat. Havoc setting up against Barb Strangler warriors. They are suppressed themselves though by the Barb Stranglers and are forced off. Spirit also going tier 2, Soom the last to go, and he does so now. xHoLyHammer getting a Tyrant Guard. Hormagaunts forced off by a bunch of Guardians. Bottom is red, center is also red, top is blue. 338 versus 463. raaar is now tier 2. It's a decent amount of resources. No Blood Crusher yet, anyway. Maybe he's still deciding. Maybe he's waiting to see what the red team comes out with. Heretics moving in on these Barb Stranglers. Doom Blast goes off, but they are forced off. Barb Stranglers proving to be very tricky to deal with for the blue team. raaar does go for a Blood Crusher, and a Tyrant Guard is on the field, a monstrous creature. Very slow. If it doesn't have Synapse, it will get Synapse from the Hive Tyrant. You see it speeding up there. The warriors of course will also give it Synapse. Super heavy infantry armor, can charge and also put a shell up to heal itself and give it vehicle armor, which you see it doing right now. Not sure why. To provide line of sight perhaps. Hormagaunts taking top. Blood Crusher is on the field, a Daemon. It has vehicle armor but has health that regenerates, can charge and can roar. Going after some Spore Mines now, which go down. Fights in melee. None of these units can see this Lictor Alpha. 3 VPs all capped for red team. Blue team is completely getting overrun here by these Tyranids. They need to push back. They have the numbers. I think they've been clumped together a bit too much. Chaos now pushing top. Eldar need to push mid and bottom. Tons of ranged firepower on this Hive Tyrant, who has his Crushing Claws. Devastating melee weapon against pretty much everything. He's forced off though. Too much stuff. There's a Plasma Grenade. Well dodged by Soom. Tyrant Guard of xHoLyHammer moving in on these heretics, which won't be able to do much to it. Soom has a Tyrant Guard of his own. When you get 2 or more Tyrant Guard out, it's pretty difficult for early tier 2 armies to deal with. Plague Champion forced off. He's getting his Plague Fist. Force-fed Exarch suppressed by these Barbed Stranglers. Blood Crushers on him now, and they retreat and they may lose a model here. No, Blood Crusher tries a special attack and misses.
This is not the victory you promised us.
Red team stealing or decapping Blue's natural up here. Havocs should be able to force off those Hormagaunts. We have a Banshee squad coming out for Spirit. Try to close the distance quickly on those Barbed Stranglers perhaps. Gene Stealer's on the way for Holyhammer. Top is blue, middle is red, bottom is blue. Hive Tyrant is decapping it though. Here's the Blood Crusher now taking damage from the Tyrant Guard and the Lictor Alpha who has his Corrosive Claws. Barbed Strangle Warriors being decimated. Might see a squad wipe here, we do. Banshees came in just in time to do that. Blood Crusher pulling out it seems, down to 200 health. Tyrant Guard moving on this Shuriken Cannon, needs to get out of there. Tyrant Guard took a ton of damage. This is xHoLyHammerx, you see it go to shield wall mode and heal. Big push bottom by the Tyranids. Blood Crusher still in there, hasn't been repaired. Here's the Plague Champion with his fist. He's going to be bad news for this Tyrant Guard. Also getting his Icon of Noggle. Mass retreat from the Guardians and Shuriken Cannon. Here are the Gene Stealers of xHoLyHammerx. Elite melee unit, very very nasty, especially if they get melee synapse, which we may see, and we do see here. Warrior Brood with Adrenal Glands from xHoLyHammerx. Once they get into range of those Gene Stealers, that's going to be nasty. Warp Spider using his phase armor to freeze everything there. Not to any great effect. Usually used to spike with plasma grenades or the Avatar's Wailing Doom. 179 plays 4-3-2, lots of catching up for blue team to do here. Tyrant Guard still healing up at the bottom. Banshees have their Exarch and they have aspect of Banshee, which means she gets an execution spear, you can see at the front. Hive Tyrant has his shield up, Tyrant Guard moves away. Bottom is red. 2-1 cap for red team. Heretics with their aspiring champion capping middle, taking fire from Termagants though, and here comes some Hormagaunts. No Adrenal Glands. We do have Toxin Sacs on the Termagants though. Barbed Strangler Warriors lose a member, and there's phase shift. Will we see a huge grenade spike here? No. Only one Guardian squad has grenades. We do see an Autarch drop though. Could wipe these Hormagaunts. No, they looks like they're going to get away. Barbed Strangler Warriors down to 12 HP. Blood Crusher trying to chase. Charge must be on cooldown, or that would have been a dead Barbed Strangler. Hive Tyrant very dangerous to the Blood Crusher of his crushing claws. Tyrant Guard also. Blood Crusher's had it, I think. There it goes. Tier 3 for Soom. That's a Noxious Cloud from raaar. Global ability of the Plague Champion. Tyrant Guard taking tons of damage. Goes into his shield wall. This stuff is not going to be able to touch it. Has vehicle armor now. Chaos Space Marine is capping center. Bloodletter's on the way for raaar. Top is still blue, not much going on. Shuriken Cannon's covering it. Barbed Strangler Warriors shooting in amongst these Guardians. Hive Tyrant has flanked them. Doesn't want to overextend though. Plague Champion with Plague Fist is nasty. Has his Icon of Noggle, damaging all infantry around him constantly. Enemy infantry that is. Warp Exarch may go down here. No. Tyrant cards are frozen in place. Autarch starts to weigh in with her sword. Warp Spider gets away. Shield wall for the Tyrant Guard. Carnifex on the way for Soom. Bloodletters are on the field. Elite melee unit, very powerful in melee. Can teleport also, being worshipped by these heretics. Though Nova worship is the least effective for demons. I don't think this Tyrant Guard is going to live much longer. Has Banshees, Plague Fist and Bloodletters on it. Both of them going to shield wall. Here comes the Carnifex getting this Thornback upgrade. One of those Tyrant Guard did go down. Meanwhile bottom is blue. Guardians working on a power farm. Carnifex eating some Banshees and another. Huge monstrous creatures. Vehicle armor, though its health regenerates since it's alive. Looks like it's going to stomp to the bottom, try and clear out this VP perhaps. Bloodletters overextend and need to retreat. They're going to get caught in melee by melee Synapse Gene Stealers, which is never a good idea. They get away with 2 members, Noxious Cloud forcing off that Tyranid blob. Termagants and Barb Stranglers heading top. This is a warrior drop right on the face of these Havocs. That must have been from Soom. Global ability for the Hive Tyrant. They're going to try and make into building. No, they decide to retreat. Lucky not to lose more than 1 member there, I think. Rippers spawned by the Carnifex. Little annoying creatures. Plague Champion is down in the centre. Warp Spider Exarch needs to be careful, has his power blades. Banshees may get wiped here. Only 2 members remaining, including the Exarch. Exarch goes down. Last member gets away with 4 HP. Here comes Bloodletters. They are a bit of a threat to this Carnifex, but they are forced off. Too much stuff in centre. Heretics worshipping for no apparent reason. They are forced off. Too much stuff centre. 148 plays 306. Blue team have a 2-to-1 cap. Soon to be a triple cap. Plague Marines on the field for raaar. Anti-vehicle unit, very tough, very good regeneration too, and they also explode when they die. Looks like we're getting a Mark Pawn on these Chaos Space Marines, giving them chain axes. Or just axes. I'm not sure. Plague Champion is still down. This is going to be a full engagement. Carnifex coming in from the north. Right Lance is firing at it, but it's being tied up in melee by Barb Stranglers. Bloodletters teleporting into these Barb Stranglers, forcing them off. Gene Stealers ripping these Corn Marines apart with the help of this melee Synapse from the Warriors. Corn Marines go down. 70 VPs to 306. I think it's all over for blue team. That engagement puts the nail in the coffin. Gene Stealers would have leveled up, yes, level 2 now. Bloodletters phase out so they cannot take damage. raaar calls GG. So the Soom only has his Carnifex, but xHoLyHammerx army is pretty fearsome. .28 to 306. Nothing the blue team can do. They're trying to push center again. Swarmlord for both red team players, just to seal it, if there was any doubt. 6 VPs, 3 VPs, and it's all over. Pretty comfortable win for the red team in the end. Blue team, I think, just stuck together a bit too much, didn't spread out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.